All right, so there's a lot of MIDI packs being put out there online right now, and a lot of people are selling them, people are downloading them. And the question is that a good idea for sync licensing? Should I go and grab MIDI packs and use them to create my chord progressions or even songs, like full songs, drums? Like, I mean, you can get MIDI packs for literally everything. My general opinion on this is I don't think they're the greatest idea in the world, and here's why. If you can go for a couple of bucks, grab a chord progression, a lead, drums, whatever, even though you're going to go replace those with your own synths and pianos and sounds, all that kind of stuff. You're just getting literally the notes, the blank notes, and then you're going to add your sounds onto it. If you're going to go grab those things, how easy and likely is it that another sync licensing producer or just any producer could go grab the same exact chord progression and throw maybe a different sound, put it up there, and then have that being sent out into potentially even the same library as you? Chances are a lot higher of doing that than if you just create your own original chord progressions. I mean, the chances are infinitely smaller, that if you create your own chord progressions and your own melodies and everything from scratch, that you'll have any issues with your track sounding exactly like somebody else's, the same chord progression, that kind of thing. So that's the first thing, is just trying to stay away from, it's not so much about the legal issues, which sometimes there can be legal issues if people are saying, hey, you took my chord progression, even though I took it from this website. Happens a lot, and it's all fraudulent and it's all BS and it's all stupid, but it all can take time and it can all land in legal issues. If you've followed my channel for a while, we've talked about some of those splice loop issues, how that can actually land in real lawsuits and real threats of legal action being taken and wasting everybody's time and money and resources. And we don't want to do that. We just want to make awesome music. That's the first reason why I'd say, nah, not a great idea. Secondly, this is more on sort of like the, I don't know if you can call it ethics, but just the creative integrity of yourself. You're a music producer, right? So you should be creating original content. Like, that's what we do as music producers. I know it's tempting to want to go just grab a loop, go grab a MIDI pack, go grab this and that, because it'll just speed up the process and you'll just have something that already sounds great and it's already produced and it's already there. The only problem is it's not you, right? And if you want any, let's say, music supervisor or music editor to fall in love with you as a producer and want to keep using your music, you better be giving them a piece of you, right? There better be something original coming out of your tracks, speaking through the music directly at them. If you're constantly just copying and pasting and using loops and using other people's stuff, you have nothing really original kind of being said about yourself. And then, of course, there won't be any sort of, this is what I found with my music at least, there's going to be kind of a sound that you develop as a producer, which is really cool to start to discover. I didn't really think I had one. And then I've showed my music to a lot of people and they started saying like, yep, I can hear that. Like, you've got your own little thing that you do. It's hard to put my finger on it, but there's something that's coming out of there that really just feels like Jesse's music. I can tell this is a Jesse track. And that's what music supervisors and editors and libraries start to pick up on, is realize, yeah, they've got this really, it's like your brand. It's like your sonic little brand. And it's not necessarily easy to put your finger on. It's not like you're using like, a vocal tag or something like that. But there's just a way that you compose. There's a way that you put your structure together. It's the way that you program your drums or whatever it is. You probably have a very interesting, unique way of putting your tracks together. And that's the thing that's actually going to help separate you in this business from the herd, the masses, the copy and paste sort of kind of producer that's just like, oh, I make music, I throw loops on top of each other. You don't want to get lost in that herd of like just no originality, no individual, substance to them. Then you do need to go back to your sort of creative spirit, right? And go into, okay, I want to say something with this track. I want to create a chord progression. I want to create that melody. I want to push myself to do that kind of stuff. I will also say, this is the third point, that if you go into that path of kind of taking the sort of shortcuts where you're just copying and pasting and taking other people's stuff and throwing it on there, even legally, even completely legally, you're going to hit a point where this is not rewarding for you anymore. This is going to happen because if you're not creatively exercising, and I think grabbing loops and throwing MIDI packs on there, it's literally like going to the gym and like picking up a couple of pencils and lifting those and going, okay, I lifted my weights, time to go home. You will not get the sense of reward that you got if you went and actually did the heavy lifting and actually creatively struggled a little bit and actually created an awesome, beautiful chord progression and a melody. Because you're going to get this feeling at the end of the track like, damn, that was 100% me. Like, that is my creative vision right there, playing out in this really cool, awesome track. You're not going to get that same rewarding feeling if you only took other people's melodic ideas and chord progressions and leads and melodies and all that kind of stuff. It might sound great and you might get a little bit of a buzz, a little bit of a good feeling going like, yeah, man, it's a great sounding track. In the long run, you're going to feel empty. You're going to feel like you've done nothing in your career, but literally take the ideas of other people and throw them out there. Now, of course, we all take everybody's ideas. I'm not making 100% original music that's never been heard before. Of course, we all take from our influences, so that I'm not talking about that. But I do literally mean like when you want to create that chord progression, struggle. Go for it. Like get your keyboard out there, mess with some things, play with it, just move your hands around it until you find something that's just like, this is working out great. For the melodies, record a couple of melodies till you find the one that's really right. Go ahead and edit them if you need to, whatever you got to do. But you will feel a sense of accomplishment and pride and just like overall joy with what you do as a music producer if you're doing as much as you can on your own. And I know it's getting tougher and tougher these days because there are so many tools and plugins and programs coming out that are literally trying to make it easier for us, which I think sometimes those can be absolutely useful, but we got to be really judicious on what we do in terms of what we're going to outsource. Okay, there might be some things that we can outsource because it's like, do I really need to do this and this every single time I create a track? No, that's not really making much of a difference in my creative output to it, right? But in terms of creating our actual musical ideas, that's where I personally draw the line. That's where it's like, well, this is my art, right? This is my music. This is my soul. This is my spirit. So if I start to let other ideas kind of creep in there and I'm just like taking them, well, then there's much less of me in this music anymore. And I don't know what my role in it is other than to sort of put together other people's creative ideas. So you will start to feel this little bit of a distance from your music. And obviously that's not going to feel good in the long run. So this is also one of those word to the wise in the long run, and you don't want to burn out after many years of doing this, especially if you plan on doing this for many years. Just try to get out of this habit if you're doing it right now. Try not to use as many loops and as many chord progressions and MIDI packs that you have been, and try to challenge yourself to get more into that creative spirit. And I promise you, at the end of the track, you will feel much more reward. You'll feel this sense of like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm excited that I did it my way. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to read them below.